Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is George Wilkinson and this is the Global Scholar YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, I share useful information for anyone planning to study abroad. And so if you love stuff like this, please subscribe and become part of this community. Today I'm coming to you from the bottom of the screen. Sometimes I like to go back to my roots. This is how I started making videos on this channel. And sometimes just because of the topic of the video, I like to come to you from the bottom of the screen. Now I know that there are several individuals who watch my videos and watch the content on my channel, and they do so because they are interested in studying in the UK. But for a lot of people, I realized that they don't just know where to start. They have the interest in studying in the UK. They have the interest in pursuing a master's degree, a bachelor's degree in the UK, but they just do not know where to begin, where to start from, where to look, the first steps to take. And so that is why I'm making this video. And so if this is something that you're looking for, well, let's jump straight into today's video. Now, if you're interested in studying in the UK, my very first advice to you would be to start with the why. Why are you interested in studying in the UK? For you personally, what is the driving factor for you? And based on this particular question, the why people want to come and study, after personal reflections, why they want to come to the UK to study, I've realized that it boils down to usually two main reasons. The first being that they want to upgrade their skills for a better job. And then the second, which is predominantly the reason, migration. Now, let me zero in a little bit on migration. Now, for a lot of individuals who want to move and start life afresh in other countries or Western countries, this is one of the easiest routes to use education to migrate. Is probably the best in my opinion. Now, based on these two reasons, your why, this should inform my next point that I'm going to be talking about. If you want to upgrade your skills for a better job, maybe to come back to your home country and advance in your job role, then that's fine. But if you're looking at migration, if you want to live long term in the country in which you're going to study, and in this case in the UK, then you should look critically at the course that you want to study. And that will be my next point. What course do you want to study? I'm talking particularly to individuals who probably have a first degree and they are looking at doing a master's degree, or even if you want to come in and do a bachelor's degree, what you want to study is very important if you're looking at migrating here into the UK and living here for a longer term. Now, what you need to take into great consideration is that you need, for this to be effective, for you to use education to stay in the UK for a longer term, what you need to know is that you need to enroll in a degree, or you have to specialize in an area where there is a labor shortage. I wouldn't particularly advise that you come and just do any random course and stay, because the way the UK is structured is such that after your master's degree, you will be eligible to apply for the 2 years postgraduate study visa, which will allow you to stay in the UK for a further 2 years or 3 years if you did a PhD. But a bigger question is that afterwards, what happens? Because after the 2 years of this post-study work visa, if you are not able to migrate to another visa stream, then you would have to leave the UK. And so in the very initial stages, at the very beginning, you have to be thinking long term. And this is where choosing the right course or specializing in an area where there is a labor shortage in the UK is very, very critical. This will ensure that your plan to stay here for a longer term or a longer time comes to fruition. Now, based on data here in the UK, based on the UK government's data that has been provided in the past, looking at labor shortages and labor statistics, there are three critical areas that I would advise any individual to find a course in and study when they want to come to the UK. Now, these areas are: number one, the healthcare sector; number two, engineering; and then number three, IT or information technology. Now, I have made a separate video where I talk about these three key areas in much detail. I will link it in the description box below or in the cards here somewhere so that you can watch it afterwards. But essentially, if you are looking at securing an in-demand job in the UK after your studies, then you should target courses which are in any of these three key areas: healthcare, engineering, and IT. All right, so now you've decided on why you want to come to the UK. You've identified what course you want to study. The next step is to decide which university. At this stage, there's a lot of work to be done in terms of choosing your university, because there are several universities in the UK, and so choosing which one in particular gives a lot of people a tough time or a headache. But I'm going to go through a few pointers with you to make this process a bit more easier. So one of the approaches I usually use is to search the course that I am interested in, and then with UK universities. So for instance, if I am looking at data analytics, I will search an MSc Data Analytics UK universities, and then the universities which appear in my search results, I go from one university to the other university, looking at the universities which are providing these courses. The other approach is also to have a list of all the universities in the UK, and then go from university to university and find out if they do have the course that you intend to study. I know it's a lot of work, but this is something that means a lot to you, and so you will have to give it a lot of time. Now, this website right here helps to make the process fairly simple. It's called futuresfirst.co.uk. So what futuresfirst.co.uk does is that it gives you an overview of all the universities in the UK. I'll put a link to this website in the description box, by the way. You can have an overview of where all the universities are in the UK, and then this would help you to make a decision. So you can go from area to area, look at all the universities in those specific areas, and then look at making a choice. Now, how this has been segmented on this website, I feel is fantastic. So right from here, it says southeast to London. So this means southeast of the UK and London. So you can see Oxford, London, Brighton, and then Southampton. And then when it comes to the southwestern part of the UK, there is Bristol, there's Bournemouth, there's Exeter, there's Plymouth, and all the way to the Midlands, where we have Birmingham, Coventry, Leicester, Nottingham. And at the northwestern part, there's Manchester, there's Liverpool, there's Cheshire, and then there's Cumbria. Then there's northeast, where there's Newcastle, there's Durham, there's Sunderland, there's Middlesbrough. And then Yorkshire has Leeds, Sheffield, Bradford, and York. Further up north into Scotland, there is Aberdeen, there's Dundee, there's Edinburgh, there's Glasgow. In Wales, there's Cardiff, Swansea, and Newport. And in Northern Ireland and Ireland, there's Belfast, there's Derry, and then Ulster. So, for example, if we were to click on Midlands, this would bring up all the universities in the Midlands, and a little information about the universities as well. So I find this very, very useful. Great work by Futures First. So all the universities in Midlands are listed right here, and you can go ahead and go straight to the university's website and then find out the course that you want to study, and so on and so forth. Now, in my opinion, if you're choosing your university, I suggest you shortlist to about 3 to 4 universities, and then be able to make your applications to these universities. Now, if you've gone through this process of identifying the universities, I also want to share with you a criteria for shortlisting these universities to make the process very, very easy for you. So as you can see, when we went to just the West Midlands, there were several universities. One of the ways to shortlisting which universities you would like to apply to is by looking at the course modules. So if you're interested in studying, say, business analytics, then look at the course modules that is being provided by the university. Number one, even check if the course is available by the university in the first place. If it is, then you look at the modules that they are providing or they are teaching, and if it's something that is of interest to you, because for a same course being offered by different universities, each university will have their own modules. There may be similarities, but there will be standout modules for each university. So that is one way of filtering through which university you are interested in applying to. The second is by course fees. And so if you are about costs, you are interested in how much you're going to be paying as your tuition fees, then obviously you should be looking at how much each university is going to be charging you for the course you want to study, and this should help you to make a decision. So if you're on a budget, then obviously you should be looking at the universities with lower tuition fees. The third point, which should help you to shortlist the universities that you're looking at applying to, is by location. And that is what we just went through earlier on. If you're looking at a particular location, then obviously this should help you to make a decision and make it fairly easy for you. So for instance, if you're one who is interested in studying in, say, Birmingham area, the Coventry area, or maybe you've had friends who studied in a particular area, then this can help you. Location would be something that will help you to make a decision. If you're completely new to this and you have no idea what sort of area or how an area is like, then maybe I suggest you go on YouTube and try to catch a few videos about how the areas in the UK are like. I've made a couple on my channel myself, especially the universities in Scotland. Another guide would also be to do a little bit of research and find out the cost of living in these cities. Obviously, bigger cities would mean a very expensive cost of living, especially London. If you're planning to study in London, cost of living in London is very, very expensive. Also, another criteria to help you to make a great shortlisting is by finding out about the facilities that these universities provide. And so if you go on the website, it's easy to find the sort of facilities. The website will even show you pictures of the university. You can visit their social media pages and find out what sort of facilities the school has. So when I say facilities, I'm talking about their libraries, sports facilities, accommodation facilities, student clubs, if there's student support in terms of financial support, jobs and occupations support for students. Look out for all these things on their website. These things are equally important. Sometimes it's not just all about the tuition fees, but you want to have a very rounded student life, and so look out for these facilities that add up to your student experience. Now let's talk about money, and I feel that this part goes hand in hand with choosing or selecting your university. If you're going to be funding this by yourself, which most people usually do, then you need to know how much you're going to be paying in terms of tuition fees. You can also look at funding options that are being made available by the university once you visit the university's websites. For most of the universities, on the course page, there is also a funding tab, a funding and finances tab for most of the courses that they list. And so it's very advisable, it's very useful that once you're looking at a course that you want to study, you head over to the funding and finances tab and find out how much the course is going to cost you first of all, and what sort of financial support the university usually offers. And so it's usually on these pages that you will find out if the university offers some sort of discount, especially for international students. Most of the universities do. They offer some sort of student discount or discount for international students. You can go ahead and take advantage of that. Also, if there are scholarships available for that particular course or by the university, it will be stated on these pages. When it comes to scholarships, there are several types of scholarships. So there are ones that are known, global scholarships, highly competitive. An example is the Chevening Scholarship, but also sometimes the universities themselves have their own scholarships. I have made several videos on this channel where I have reviewed scholarship opportunities being offered by some of the universities here in the UK. So like I'm saying, be sure to visit these funding pages of the universities and try to find out exactly what sort of financial support they offer students in terms of funding options or scholarships or whatever, and then be able to take advantage of these. Now, when it comes to the UK, there are usually 2 admission periods. So we have the September-October intake and then the January-February intake. And so if you're interested in studying in the September-October intake, then it means that you should put in your application somewhere around June, July, or even earlier, just to be on the safe side. And if you're looking at studying in the January-February admissions window, then you should be putting in your application by August or September, just so that you have enough time, or your application is in good time to be considered. The things that you need for application, or the application requirement for most universities in the UK, usually are your personal information. So every detail about you, your name, your date of birth, your address, and all the personal information about you will be required. Number two, your educational qualifications. So if you have a previous degree, usually your transcripts and a copy of your degree. And then there's English qualification. I have made a video talking about English qualification and how you can fulfill that requirement. I'll link it in the description box below. But in summary, usually if you can provide your certificate showing that you passed in English, usually this would suffice for most universities in the UK. Other than that, then you would have to provide an IELTS or a TOEFL test result score. But usually for international students, especially West African and Africans, the secondary school or the senior secondary school English qualification, or the English result from your secondary school results is usually enough. But as always, it is important to refer to the university's requirement, look at the university's page and what they are requiring, and be able to reach out to the university whenever you need clarification or you need help. The other thing you would need for most of these universities is a motivational statement or a statement of purpose. So I think that most of the universities require you to write a statement of purpose or a motivational statement, and this statement entails that you tell them about yourself, or what should go into this motivational statement or the statement of purpose is that you should tell the university about yourself, your journey, your accomplishments, and why you want to study the course you want to study at the university, and how that is going to help you or impact your future or help you to grow further as an individual. There are no hard and fast rules. It's just an opportunity for you to express yourself to the university and to convince the university that you are interested in studying with them. Do universities charge application fees? Well, most of the universities here in the UK do not charge an application fee. I cannot say that 100% all of them do not charge application fees, but quite a lot of them do not charge application fees. And so it's a good thing to take advantage of that. Look out for the universities that do not charge application fee, and then be able to submit your application quickly and in time. Right, so just like I'm saying, if you're starting out afresh, you do not know where to begin, this is where to begin. I'm just recapping. Find out why you want to study, and this should determine what you should study. Then look out for which university or where you want to go and study. Look at their funding options, and then put in your application. That is where I'll start, or that is how I'll go about initially. However, if you're looking for more help than what I've just gone through, I want to present to you Elevacity Consult. Now, Elevacity Consult is an educational consulting organization based here in the UK. I am part of Elevacity Consult, and Elevacity is proud to bring this video your way. We are agents, or Elevacity Consult is an educational consultant and an educational agent that seeks to help international student hopefuls to come to the UK and study. And so what we do is that we help make the process very, very easy for anybody who wants to study in the UK, right from selecting the university that you want to study at, choosing the right courses, all the way through your application, finding out if you are eligible for scholarships and helping you to apply for them. We help you with accommodation, settling in, and a whole lot more. Now, the difference between Elevarsity and other educational consults that are in your home country or wherever you may be watching is that Elevarsity is based here in the UK. It is being run by a team of individuals who have a lot of experience in the UK educational system. And so for us, when we offer you information about how to go about choosing your universities and making your application, it is because we have first-hand experience. Elevarsity Consult is currently set up in London and in Aberdeen. And so if you're interested in studying in the UK and you want reliable educational consultants to hold your hand right from the beginning until you arrive in the UK, then contact Elevarsity. On the screen is our email address, elevarsityconsult@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our social media channels on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter, Elevarsity. And very soon I will also be dropping our contact numbers, our local contact numbers, our international contact numbers, where you can call us directly and reach us. So do not waste any time at all. Send us an email as soon as you possibly can, and let us help you begin your journey to the UK. If you love this video, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to this channel and become part of this community. If you have any question, post it down there. I'll answer you right away. My name is George, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Bye-bye.